It's time for the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House in Eddy Street Commons. The Mike Brey Radio Show is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Sprint, Coke Zero, Under Armour, and Gatorade. The Mike Brey Radio Show is also presented by Delta Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Notre Dame Athletics, Bank of America, Xfinity, First Source Bank, Great Clips, Papa John's, St. Joseph Health System, South Bend Orthopedics, and O'Rourke's Public House. Also sponsoring tonight's show is Primrose Mishawaka and Legacy Heating and Air. Now, let's go live to O'Rourke's Public House for the Mike Brey Radio Show. Here's your host, Jack Nolan.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to O'Rourke's Public House for the Mike Brey Radio Show. Nice crowd here tonight. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that this past week Notre Dame beat number 1 North Carolina and followed that up on Monday night, handing Clemson their first home ACC loss of the year. You've had a bunch of great two-game sequences throughout your career. Other than the ACC tournament, I'm not sure you've had a better one.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
That was a great 48-hour stretch, no question about it. And, to kind of get our legs under us and bounce back and get Clemson, I think a normal group would not get that one. And that's okay. Doesn't mean you're not a good team or you're not going to go to the NCAA tournament. But I was really impressed with how mature we focused quickly, got our legs under us, and won at a place where no one has won in our league. We definitely needed some rest Tuesday and Wednesday, and we got back to practice today.
Not only did you get it at Clemson, but you led wire to wire. You jumped out 11-2. They made a number of runs, but you never let Clemson tie or take the lead. You challenged every punch, and you responded each time.
Well, you know what helps on the road, Jack, when you get off to a good start. I think it was 11-2 or 11-3. VJ got us started hitting 2 big threes. And, when you can get off to a good start on the road, that kind of sets the tone a little bit. I thought offensively we kind of maybe took it to a new level in the second half. Some of the stuff we did, I think we scored 54 points. We were really good. And I'll tell you, we got, one of those frontline Bash. Maybe I should start calling these guys the Bash brothers, Bonzi and Zach. And we're going to have Bonzi up here in a little bit. But those two guys in these last 2 games, Bonzi and Zach, have been physically putting it on other front lines. And we certainly need that the rest of the way.
And certainly Bonzi always plays with an edge. He's always physical. Zach admits he's not always consistent, but he certainly was in these 2 games.
He was. He's grown a lot. And, I think the two of them have a great relationship. They're the New England guys. They room together, and I think they're joined at the hip. And right now, they are giving the rest of us, coaches and teammates, a lot of confidence with what they're doing around the basket, driving, scoring, rebounding, defending.
This afternoon it was announced that Demetrius Jackson has made the mid-season cut for the Wooden Award. That's very impressive. It
is, yeah. And well-deserved. He's, you look at his numbers and what he's done, and he's definitely a candidate for that. The neat thing about him is he just wants his team to win, and that's what's really kind of, that's kind of been the mentality of this group. I think they've kind of found some things in the last week since the Carolina win where, they remember how fun March was last year, these returning guys. We want to relive that, and they certainly showed some signs of being a special team Saturday night against North Carolina and on the road against a good Clemson team.
And I didn't misspeak briefly. I'm getting to the age where the print's hard to read. It's the Naismith Award, the midseason Naismith Award, but they're both among the best awards out there.
He didn't make the Wooden Awards. And by the way, whoever runs the Wooden Awards are complete buffoons. They really are. If John Wooden was alive, I've looked at their midseason list and how they've done it, and they have no idea what they're doing. Anyways, the Naismith Award is another great honor and well-deserved.
I didn't do that to set you up for that, but I think you've made it pretty clear. I wouldn't have said that.
If Coach Wooden was alive, he'd have straightened all this out. I don't know who's running things out there on these lists they put out. I've never seen anything like it.
When you take a look at this weekend and where you were coming back from Miami, maybe that's the most impressive thing. And this isn't unusual for your team to make a run and come together at this point. But I'm not sure you've ever taken a bigger step in 2 games than you did, because good team, kind of struggling, maybe on the bubble coming away from Miami.
Yeah.
And now you're just about a lock.
We're getting close to being locked up, man, and that would be unbelievable, to get back in this tournament. That would make it 8 out of 10 years we've made it. And what I've said, you remember what I told you, I mentioned on Media Day, we won the ACC championship, but we've only been to the NCAA tournament while an ACC member 1 year in a row. We need to make that, again, 2 years and keep going, because that's what we were doing in the Big East. And that really gives your program great credibility and respect. So for this group to go back and have a chance to play for a national championship, you got to be one of those 68. But certainly our strength of schedule, our RPI, our numbers, we have 2 top 10 RPI wins. We've been good away from our building. We have a nice resume right now. We still got work to do, and we understand that.
I check it every day, and it changes every day. Yesterday, you were 22 in the NCAA RPI. Now you're 24. You're 25th in the ESPN RPI, the real RPI, 29. These all differ because nobody knows exactly for sure what the NCAA committee uses, but those are really terrific numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you are in a really good place. We did a very good job this year with our non-league strength of schedule. We played Indiana and Iowa and Alabama, but Milwaukee, Stony Brook, even a St. Francis, Pennsylvania is winning. Liberty is winning. All of those things matter to keep your overall RPI up. So I think behind Wake Forest, we have the second strongest non-league schedule. Like, we went out and scheduled. There's no question that is part of the committee's analyzation of who did you play? Did you challenge yourself? And we certainly did in the non-league overall. And then to be at 8 league wins right now with, a win at Duke, a North Carolina win, you're Clemson on the road, you're in a great position. There's no question about it. And, I think when you get to this position, and we've been in this position before, which is great, now you start not thinking so much about making the NCAA tournament. You start thinking about seeding for the ACC tournament, and can you pull off a double bye? Louisville being taken off the list all of a sudden opens up another probably double bye, top 4. Whether we've been in the Big East or certainly in the ACC last year, when you get that double bye and you don't play till Thursday, you really do have a chance to win a league tournament, and we certainly know how fun that was in Greensboro last year.
We have lots of questions from the big audience here at O'Rourke's tonight. We'll get to those right after this timeout. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. We are back in the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. Great night tonight, but we can't do a Notre Dame basketball show tonight without passing along our prayers and thoughts to former Notre Dame star Monty Williams. Yeah. If you haven't heard, Monty's wife Ingrid, a Notre Dame graduate, was killed in an auto accident earlier this week when a car crossed the center lane and struck her car head on. Monty and Ingrid were college sweethearts here at Notre Dame, both Notre Dame grads. They have 5 children under the age of 17. Monty is the former head coach of the NBA's New Orleans Pelicans and is now an assistant with Oklahoma City. Ingrid was just 44 years old. Fortunately, all 3 of her children who were in the car with her were not seriously injured. 2 of them are still in the hospital, but they are expected to make full recoveries. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Williams family. It's just one of those things that shouldn't happen. You can't explain it. And
really sad. I mean, they're such a neat couple. They all, she is from right here across the line in Michigan. Ingrid was from there, and Monty would always come back in the summer right around basketball camp with the kids and spend some time, and then they would go up and visit her family. A lot of personality, great people. He's a special guy. I checked in with him the other night, and can't even imagine what he's going through, but we certainly are supporting him from back here at their alma mater. I
know she was very important to him. He went through tough times here. Yeah. He had the year when they decided he couldn't play because he had the heart issue, a decision that in retrospect he didn't agree with. He used to go to the Rock every night when Notre Dame played and would run up and down the court for the entire length of the game just to prove everybody that they were wrong. But I know Ingrid helped him with that. So, I mean, just terrible news, and we didn't want to do a show without letting him know and letting everybody else know that he can certainly use your prayers and thoughts right now. Okay, this is Lisa DeBoer from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and South Bend, Indiana, has a condo here. Okay. Do you actually Okay, do you actually eat the braisy and stir fry at the Mark? Just curious. They've named something at you, a meal for you over there?
I'm surprised you haven't had it yet. As a matter of fact, I'm insulted that
really?
have not tasted. It's been on the menu for
I
about
always
a year.
only eat at O'Rourke's.
I had it tonight, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
That's why I'm glowing.
All right. Okay, well,
It's excellent.
That answers your question.
Get over there and get some. After you have chicken fingers here or whatever. I mean,
Yes, and that was a question that was just handed to me, and our good friends at O'Rourke's, normally I would have edited that out, so sorry about that. Ryan from Mishawaka, how does it feel winning games over UNC and Duke the past 2 seasons? Has that ever been done before?
That's a great question. Maybe we should find out if anybody's
I'll guarantee you this. You've never been 6-1 against Duke and North Carolina over 2 seasons, which you are right now.
No, our program has never done that. I wonder what program has done that. Has NC State maybe done that? Has Maryland done that? That's probably a good stat to look at, though. To be 6-1 against them in the last 7 is flat out off the charts, and it gives us great credibility in this league.
Betty from Mishawaka, with Louisville going 5 overtimes a few years back and a 4 p.m. start, should we hold off on making plans until long after 9 p.m.?
Hold off, because you never know when you're playing Louisville. We've had some great games with them. The one here last time was unbelievable, and that was a college game day. Of course, the game there last year was a great game. That was a heck of a win for us on the road. That win last year at Louisville locked up a 3 seed and a double bye in the ACC tournament. I think it was the second to last game of the season. But they're always pretty dramatic. We're playing against a heck of a defensive team in Louisville, so our offense will really be challenged on Saturday.
Christina Wilming is here from Waterville Elite. Coach, thanks for 16 great years of basketball. How soon before David Rivers gets in the Ring of Honor?
Great. That's a great art. I tell you what, now we're getting in. It gets tough now as we put up Ring of Honor guys. And I always get with a couple of our people in the spring and summer, and we talk about it. David Rivers will be in that Ring of Honor eventually. Whether he's the next guy or not, I don't know. We'll talk about it a little bit. But he certainly is deserving. He'll be up there, and he is in town and will be at the game Saturday.
Coming in this week. It's also the NBA All-Star break. A lot of folks are coming in, including a couple of guys who did a lot for you last year. 2
guys that made me look like I could coach a little bit, Grant and Connaughton. They will be back. They're coming in. As a matter of fact, they're getting in tonight, and I know they're excited to see their old teammates and cheer them on Saturday.
Christina has another question, but it's a good one. The Clemson game was at 9 p.m. What's the schedule the next day for the team? Do the kids go to class? Do they just rest?
No, we get to class. We got in at 2 in the morning. It's a tough stretch, and we want them to get going and get to class. The one thing we did do was not practice on Tuesday or Wednesday. We needed to take 2 days off. But whenever time we get back, we want them getting to class the next day, and I think overall our guys have been pretty good. You think about now the wear and tear physically on our guys, travel, games, and then academic responsibilities. I mean, we put a lot on these guys, and anytime we can give them a little bit of a break, which we had Tuesday and Wednesday, it was well-deserved, and they needed it.
Do coaches ever communicate to the powers that be to maybe try to take a look at game times and where the teams are from? Because the first time you played Miami in ACC play, it was a 9 p.m. Wednesday or Thursday game, and I don't think we get back till 3:30 or 4 a.m.
Right. The one thing in this league, there are more 9 o'clock games that I've found. We've never played that many 9 o'clock games in the Big East. It was not a weeknight time slot, but somehow, I guess they've done their studies for TV. There's a number of 9 o'clock slots on the ACC TV package, so you really have no say on that.
Nick Anderson here is here from Granger. What did you change, if anything, in the second half against North Carolina?
We did. You know what? North Carolina really defended us, and I think we helped them a little bit offensively. We took some bad shots and forced some things. I thought in the second half we were in a better rhythm offensively. And I think what our leadership talked about after I left the locker room Saturday was more important than what I talked about. See, when a group starts to show signs of being special, they really start to take ownership of themselves. My special teams have done that. And I thought at halftime they did it at a new level. And in preparation to play at Clemson and to get refocused, they did it again. That's why I'm excited about who we are right now.
Brandon Liss, as always, is here. What do you do to keep the team focused and physically ready to play on a short turnaround, such as Saturday then Monday, especially after a big win like UNC?
Yeah, great question. The only thing we did on Sunday was we came in here at 11:30, and we do a longer stretch with our strength coach just to get their bodies loose. We did not touch a basketball on Sunday. We flew into Greenville. The guys watched the Super Bowl. We as a staff watched the Super Bowl. At 10:30 after the Super Bowl, we watched some film with Clemson and kind of talked mentally about what we were going to do. And the next day, we had a good, energized shoot-around. There was no way we could do anything physically Sunday. It was more of a mental day. And that's, again, why I was really impressed. We didn't do anything on the court yet. Our guys were mature enough, focused enough to know, okay, we're not going to get any reps on the court. I'm going to do this mentally. I'm going to get my legs back. I'll be ready to go Monday night.
In this one case, was 9 o'clock a good tip-off time?
Yeah, it probably was, to get a little more time to rest and guys maybe get another nap in the afternoon. That's a long day when you're waiting for 9 o'clock. But I think it helped us given how much we invested physically and mentally on us on Saturday night against North Carolina.
Jerry Liss is here from South Bend. Every win is special, but is there something extra to beating the big power ACC teams?
No, those are really powerful for us. Again, we talked about 6-1 against Duke and North Carolina in our last 7. If you're going to be legitimate in this league, and quite frankly, nationally, that you can beat those guys, it's a great statement for your program, and it's a great confidence giver for your guys.
And again, I was talking about, maybe you were bubble team after Miami, even after Miami, before Carolina. You were in everybody's bracketology.
Yeah.
So you already have that respect now where you can take some hits and people don't go, they're just not good enough.
Yeah, I think we're, our resume is very strong right now. Again, we understand we have work to do. And I think our work now is not so much about an NCAA tournament resume. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Now it's a little bit more of we could get a double bye in the ACC tournament, and we know how that helped us last year.
All honesty, you could win the regular season title.
Well, we've kind of kicked that around as a staff too. That there's a lot that's going to happen, and the top of the league plays itself a lot. North Carolina, play Virginia. They're all Duke's in there. They all kind of play each other. Obviously, Louisville's situation makes it even more intriguing, but no, that's not out of the question.
Well, Louisville can still win the title, but they won't take up a spot in terms of bye seeding because they're not going there.
Exactly.
And that makes a big difference. I also wonder if that's going to affect their mindset on Saturday because all they have left to play for is trying to get a regular season title.
Yeah, I think they will be ready to roll. Their kids. They got a good team. They've got really good players. They got a really good coach. They're going to come in here ready to roll again. They've only got 5 games left in their basketball life. They're going to play their backsides off.
Jim Hughes is here from Brookville, Indiana. Your team is playing great. Usually team depends on threes. North Carolina game, driving to the basket was your best weapon, hitting 20 foul shots in a row. Great job. Was that a record? I don't think it was a record because I think we would have talked about it, but it was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's a philosophy that this team has had now really since December.
Yeah, we've been trying to drive the ball more, and I think, Demetrius is a natural slashing guy. Steve has done that much more. He was a spot-up shooter his first 2 years. But getting in there, getting to the foul line, the new rule where if you get close to a guy, it's going to be a foul. It's hard to guard a guy who's made his mind up to drive. We still shoot a pretty good percentage, and I feel we have really good shooters, but maybe we don't live on it as much as we've done in the past. Now, we shot it great the other night down at Clemson, but those kind of all came up in the flow of things.
How big a role did the Advocare tournament play in that? Because you didn't want to lose the 2 games. You got the great win. The Iowa win was worth the trip alone, but had some trouble defending in that tournament because people were driving at you, and I almost got the sense that that's when your guy said, you know what? We can drive at other people and get to the line as well.
I think that's a great point, Jack. I think we saw in the Alabama and the Monmouth game, we got called for a lot of hand checks on the drive, but it was the new rule. And we kind of came out of there thinking, we need to do a little bit of the same. We need to go right back at people. And
you started at Illinois.
And we did. We started driving at Illinois. We got to the line. We started making free throws. We couldn't make a free throw in November. And not much better in December, a little better. But now I think we're second in the league in team free throw percentage.
So that'll do it for questions for Coach, but we've got a bunch for a young man who has been a key to this team for 2 seasons now. Bonzie Colson's here. He's going to join us right after this timeout of the Mike Brey Radio Show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Mike Brey Radio Show, Bonzie Colson. Bonzie's having the best year of his career, 12.5 points, 7.1 rebounds. He leads the team in block shots with 26. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
But I'm going to direct your attention to the monitors. Something we really like, not necessarily your job, but we knew you were working on it all year. At Duke, you hit 2 big three-point shots. And I think that the whole Duke crowd went, oh, because they didn't expect you to hit those shots. The first one, you're smiling. The second one, you're like, I'm on fire. Take us through what that whole victory was, because that's kind of the victory I think that's kick-started this season into potentially something truly special.
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity, and we took advantage of that. You know, playing at Duke, the crowd was going crazy. But, you know, we've been through situations like that where, you know, we feed off the crowd's energy. We did that against Duke.
Talk about why this team seems to really be getting better rapidly at this point in the season.
Well, Coach Brey, you know, told us in the beginning of the season that we're going to be a work in progress. So we took that into account, and, you know, we're responsible, and we know that. So being able to just, you know, get better every practice, every game is what we do.
You're a guy from New England, grew up in New Bedford, went to high school in Rhode Island, kind of grew up at Boston College when your dad was an assistant coach there. So you decided to come way out here to the Midwest to play in the ACC and play half your games in the Southeast. What's that been like?
Oh, it's wonderful. You know, growing up, I was never a Notre Dame fan, but I was always just, my dad coached BC, so I love BC. But, you know, I came on my visit, I loved it. You know, Coach Brey showed me a great time. The team showed me a good time. I had fun, and I knew, you know, this is the place for me.
Now, you weren't a BC student, so it wasn't in your DNA yet, but they don't like us very much at BC. So what are some of the folks you knew back there going, what, you're going to Notre Dame?
Yeah, everybody was shocked, but, you know, I just fell in love with this place here. You know, it was a great opportunity for me, you know, on and off the court, and I knew this was a place for me.
How did you first hear of him, and when did you know you wanted him here?
You know, Coach Inglesby did a great job tracking him, and I saw him as a younger player in the spring of his going into his senior, it was the spring of his junior year out in Los Angeles at the EYBL Nike. He led the EYBL in efficiency points. The EYBL is the top AAU stuff right now. Nike still has the best players playing at the highest level. His numbers were, you know, off the charts how he did it day in and day out. But you look at him and you go, well, he's 6'5", but he's got long arms. Is he a 4-man? Is he a 3-man? You know, and then, you know, what we've done here is we have found basketball players. He's a basketball player, and then the way we play, you know, you can't pigeonhole him. You let him play a lot of different spots on the floor. And the one thing is, he's a believer. He's at his best when the games are big. And, you know, we know how he came on the scene. We didn't have Zach August because of an academic issue. I don't even start him at Georgia Tech. He wasn't even playing the first half of the year. And he comes in the end of the first half, whole second half in Atlanta, helps us win the game, and the rest is history. And I just think he's blossoming into a heck of a college basketball player. He's only a sophomore. This young man is only a sophomore. He gives us great confidence, and he plays with an edge. Him and his buddy, him and Zach, they're playing with an amazing edge right now that is a huge advantage for us.
Is that intentional, or is that just you? Because this is
crazy.
Well,
they're both crazy.
Yeah, but maybe it's the
crazy in a
good
good
crazy.
way. Yeah.
Good crazy.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Not bad crazy.
They're crazy, intense competitors. Sometimes I'd much rather.
Well, you've had a lot of those.
Oh, I'd much
Aaron
rather.
Godey was crazy. Hansbrough, really crazy.
Absolutely. I'd much rather have to calm him and Zach down than to see if they got a pulse every day.
Fire them up.
They want to go at it, and I love that about them.
And I think your being on the floor helped Zach. And again, I'm not taking a shot at it. He admits it. He in the past hasn't always brung it every night to the level where he needs to, but when you're out there with him, he seems to feed off your intensity. In the event, he occasionally needs a little jump start. He certainly didn't need a jump start the last 2 games. Yeah. You guys were dominant inside.
Definitely, yeah. And, you know, me and Zach, and we feed off each other's energy. You know, a lot of it, you know, we talked to Demetrius about bringing the edge and the energy as well. So I feel like when we bring that energy, you know, we we make and ones, we screen, we show emotion that helps bring confidence to the whole team.
It's funny. Fans often bring up, well, coach needs to play 12 guys, and the bench that never outscores the other team's bench. But when we put you in the six-man role, suddenly the Notre Dame bench outscores the other team's bench. But that really does give you a great lift. And I told people when you were bumped back and put Brigette in among others, and people asked me, well, wasn't he upset? And you told me you didn't care. And it wasn't just team speak. You don't really care when you get in the game because you know you're going to get in the game. What is it like to be able to come off the bench, and do you sense that you come in and you immediately are giving the team a lift?
I just try bringing energy. I compete, my tail off in the offensive, defensive end. It comes down to winning, and you have to do at times. You got to switch up things, with your program to win. And it didn't hurt me. Then I started. Just knew I had to keep doing what I have to do, keep rebounding, keep scoring, and keep communicating defensive end. So you got to do anything to win the game, and that's what happened.
And before that, Pfluger and whatnot, but you've helped the younger guys.
Yeah.
And I think Rex, what a great young man. And he's doing what you did, what you all did. People think you're a star. Demetrius had some trouble adjusting. Mm-hmm. This big-time basketball, it's a huge step over high school. And I think when he's on the court with you and with the other veterans, he is now getting a confidence that's allowing him to do more and more, especially on the offensive end, and to be more intense on the defensive end.
Yeah, definitely. With Rex, I always told him, just be ready. You never know what's going to happen. Just keep your mind, stay focused. His opportunity came, and now look at him. He's in the rotation, he's playing, he's scoring, he's playing great defense, and he's doing everything the coach needs him to do, and that's what's the most important thing with him.
Because he was hearing the same thing from fans and even the media, although you have laid down the law. You do not earn a starting position from a YouTube dunk fan.
No.
That no longer, that does not enter into that particular decision.
He could always defend. I think what he's done is he's slowed down offensively. He's taken better care of the ball. His shot selection is better. But the energy he gives us defensively right now is a key lift. And, Bonds can, a lot of our guys can speak from experience that maybe they weren't in there right away as freshmen. Zach August wasn't in there right away as a freshman. And, they can talk to those guys about, hey, hang in there. Here's what happened with me. When you get your chance, take advantage of it, and Rex has.
Are coaches' sons different?
Coaches' sons are very, very different, and I love them. I mean, I was excited to get, I know his dad. His dad's an old Dunbar, a D.C. guy, and I'm a DeMatha guy. So we always love to argue Dunbar versus DeMatha. His dad was a heck of a player and a heck of a basketball coach. And it was neat recruiting Bonzi to reconnect with his father. But because he grew up around the game, a gym rat in gyms, talking the game at dinner table, that's a huge, huge advantage that we take advantage of.
I mean, I got in an elevator with your whole family at the Mohegan Sun tournament. They'd come up there, and you're not playing.
Yep.
And I said, well, hey, great to see you. And I said, I wish Bonds would play. I said, well, he's going to play. Don't worry. Well, I hope so. And your dad's just like,
yeah.
What kind of advice did your dad give you?
Well, I knew coming in I wasn't ready. It was, I didn't know plays. I wasn't in shape. But my dad just said, just be ready. Your opportunity's going to come. Keep working your tail off, in practices. And one thing about me, I took my practices as my games, early in the season last year because I knew, I wasn't ready yet. So I would just keep working, my butt off. And then, last year, Jaron, just kept my mind in it, telling me, your time's coming. And then it came that Georgia Tech game, and it was all she wrote.
Those of us who watch practice knew that. That's not something I'd ever use in a broadcast. But how many guys are self-aware enough and confident enough to go, hey, I wasn't playing because I wasn't ready. I know I'm not ready.
Well, here we were kidding in the weight room today because we weigh the guys. He's lost 30 pounds since he's gotten here. He wasn't in the best of shape.
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
He was tearing up some chicken fingers back in the day.
Yes.
And he had to get to know our system. But you know what? By January, he got a feel for our system.
Yeah.
He was in better shape. He had lost 20.
Yep.
And we know the lift that he gave us from Georgia Tech on down the stretch.
Seems to me the worst thing an opposing player can do is catch you in the face with an elbow or a forearm. Because if anything, that hits you in the next gear away.
Yeah. Getting hit like that, I get this feeling, it just gives a little bit more spark. That North Carolina game, dude hit my contact out of my eye. That Georgia Tech, nose was bleeding. But, those are the plays that you need. Those are plays that, gives you the lift, as a team.
But some guys, I can see it in your eyes, but some guys turn around and they want to fight.
Yeah.
You just kind of step away and go, okay, give me the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Because you know what happens, you just got to stay composed. You can't get out of character. You got to take it on the offensive end.
Making our community brighter is what Nika Electrical Contractors do every day through community involvement efforts like sponsoring the Notre Dame Basketball Youth Experience, which gives area youth groups a trip to Purcell Pavilion to see Coach Brey's Fighting Irish in action. The Nika Contractors and electrical workers of Local 153 preparing Michiana for a brighter tomorrow. We have audience questions for Bonzi. We'll get to those right after this timeout. The Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. Great crowd here tonight at O'Rourke's Public House for the Mike Brey Radio Show, and we don't really care, but we're pretty sure the team will be ranked again. But this team's better under the radar.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
But you've earned a right to be ranked.
Yeah. We're right there on the edge of it, right?
The coaches are being tougher on you now than the media.
Well, no, I think in the coaches we were 26th in the voting.
Was it? Did I flip it? 26th in coaches and 28th
and the week before it was the opposite. And we're 28 in the media poll, but we're in a good position, man. We're in a good position at 8-4. We get this thing to 9-4 in this league, and then we have a bye week. And that comes at a good time, too, because we need here in mid-February a couple of good days of, training camp practice. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be training camp 3. Training camp 2 was when we came back from Christmas. And it gives us one more stretch of practice reps and things to work on before March.
So what are midterms this year? Are they ACC tournament week again?
I have no idea.
I think the week before.
Good.
Yeah, that may be helpful.
Although you got 2 games, but you got home games that week.
We got home.
Allie Lister's here. Bonzi, what's your favorite NBA team?
Oklahoma Thunder.
Okay. Bonzi, does Zach August, this is Shale Lister, does Zach August cut your hair?
Yes, he does. He gives me the design in the back. He gives me the nice fade. He does.
So he's good at that.
Yeah, he cuts all of our hairs.
Everybody.
Hair, Austin Torres.
The Pfluger too?
Yep, here and there.
All right.
Rex, Matt Ryan, Demetrius, VJ. He cuts by everybody. Yeah, he's good too. He's good.
Seems like he's good. Does he make you tip him or anything?
No.
All right. Emily, what is your favorite post-game snack?
We usually get cookies after the game when we go away, so probably a cookie, chocolate chip, oatmeal.
All right, that's good.
Here and there, not all the time though. Here and there.
Gary Rivers right up front where he belongs. Every time you don't show up, you have to start texting us because we get worried. Just want you to know that. Bonzi, you are the real junkyard dog, bringing energy, enthusiasm, and toughness that is contagious to the team. When did you decide that this was your passion?
To be the junkyard dog?
Yeah.
Guess when the season started, I knew I had to pick up my little energy, pick up my communication, and I guess that's when it all started. I knew I had to come up, sophomore year. I've been through it all last year, so I guess this was the year where I knew I had to pick things up.
Right. Irish fans, it's time to keep thinking about your tires with the snow out there, probably winter tires. Our friends at TireRack.com, presenting sponsors of the Mike Brey Radio Show, have what's right for you. Headquartered just a few minutes from Purcell Pavilion, their experts know a thing or two about driving through winter's worst. And when they're not driving in it, they're on their test track or maneuvering around on the ice at a local hockey rink for winter tire testing. Get to know the experts at TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install. When we come back, Bonzi will run the live version of the Fast Break on the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. Welcome back to the Mike Brey Radio Show. Bonzi Colson, our guest tonight. And Bonzi, he's a smart guy. I want to see the questions.
Oh.
But we are not going to let him see the questions.
Uh-huh.
Of course, he's already run this a couple times. He knows what they are. No, he's actually smart. He wants to make sure that I'm not going to trip him up. But see, he's a sophomore. He still doesn't quite trust me. But he will at some point. First car you ever drove?
Mercury.
Favorite all-time movie?
Space Jam.
Get up early or sleep in?
Sleep in.
Who is your role model?
My parents.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you.
I can sing a little bit, and I was in chorus, and I was a thespian, as they say in high school.
You were actually in the musical Grease, correct?
Yeah, Grease, Guys and Dolls, Seussical, and I don't remember that one. But yeah,
So who'd you play in Grease?
Sonny.
You were Sonny in Grease. And you really enjoyed that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Well
4
received?
years, yep.
All
4
right.
years.
All right. I did ask him in the break if he's going to do it here, but he has to focus on basketball, which I think is the right answer. What did you do on your first date?
Movie.
Favorite ACC arena to play in other than Purcell Pavilion?
Duke.
Especially when you win there, right?
Exactly.
Favorite NBA player?
Draymond Green.
Favorite thing to do when relaxing?
While relaxing? When relaxing?
Yes.
Netflix.
Favorite sport to play other than basketball?
Football.
Favorite part of practice?
Free throws.
Worst part of practice?
Stretch.
Best part of your game?
Versatile.
Part of your game that you need to work on?
Defense.
Which is better, knocking down a long three, blocking a key shot, or grabbing a big rebound?
Getting a rebound.
He's got all the answers, doesn't he? The right ones. I mean, the professor's right here. But knocking down a long three is pretty cool, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for you, yeah.
Yeah, here
In
and there.
Cameron?
But I can't. I don't.
Backpedaling?
Back-to-back,
Yeah,
twice.
I don't take a lot of those, though, so a rebound would be better.
Did you sense the air go out of the building when you hit that second one?
Yeah, that was...
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Favorite class you've taken at Notre Dame?
Ooh, hacking life. I'm in it this semester.
City or place in the world you would like to visit?
Seattle, maybe?
One person you would like to meet?
Shaquille O'Neal.
One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice?
Hedge the screen.
Assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey?
Bolanis. Coach Bolanis.
Player on the team most like you?
Zach.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
Myself. Big Baby.
Okay, now I'm still, what's the genesis of that?
Well, Zach, it was Zach made it up. He made up Big Baby, Big Poppy, I think, and Big Smooth, one of the three.
Okay.
Big Baby was one that stuck out. So Zach made it and he's been calling him ever since.
Not necessarily anything you did, or?
Maybe, no, I'm not sure. He just...
You weren't complaining about calls or anything?
No,
All
not that.
All right. Just in practicing. Although you do have a few conversations with the officials. Do you think you've been able to get an official to change how he was calling a game yet?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
But you do like to talk to them.
Yeah, they're cool. They're understanding sometimes. They understand what you're saying. You just talk to them the right way.
Son.
See, if you got to talk to them the right way, but sometimes they get on your nerves. And so it's both of us.
Talk away. Best player to room with on the road?
Zach.
Toughest Notre Dame player to guard?
Demetrius.
Player on the team who has surprised you the most this season?
Rex and Berg.
Okay. Best defender on the team?
Steve, Demetrius, Rex, all three of them guys.
Best leaper on the team?
VJ.
Best dunker on the team?
Zach or Rex.
Worst dunker on the team?
Matt Ryan.
Best dresser on the team?
Bonzi Colson.
Worst dresser on the team?
Oh, jeez. It was Steve, but I think I'm going to give it to Matt Ryan this time.
Best singer on the team?
Bonzi Colson.
Worst singer on the team?
Rex Pfluger.
Is he bad?
He's yes.
That LA stuff?
Oh, my God. Off rhythm, oh, jeez.
He's bad.
Yeah.
Huh? Got it.
Best comedian on the team?
Zach, myself, Austin Torres, a bunch of guys.
Guy who thinks he's funny but really isn't?
Martin Gevin.
Oh, Marty.
Marty, man. Marty's funny, but you got to just...
Shake your head.
Yeah, just agree. Just fake laugh.
Best moment at Notre Dame so far?
Win the ACC championship.
Freestyle swimming race, 1 lap.
This guy's good.
Who wins, you or Coach Brey?
There's a big discrepancy because in Pesaro, Italy, we raced, and I think it was a dead heat.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah, but remember this past summer we raced.
I got you this summer, but I think a best out of 7 would be pretty close. He can really swim.
Did you swim
Plus, he's got that 7-1
that
reach.
Yeah.
That's a lot of strokes for me to.
So for you just got to be in that right rhythm as long as that right arm's going towards the wall.
Yeah. He got me, but we had a dead heat in Pesaro.
Remember
that one?
Yeah, that was fun. the hotel.
Folks, you enjoy meeting Bonzie Colson tonight?
Yes, sir.
Great job,
Great
Bonzie.
job, Eddie.
Thank you.
You're the best, man.
Don't go. We
Really
still
good.
have our social media picture. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this timeout. We are back at the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House. This team clearly on a roll, but you've got another huge challenge and maybe the most interestingly competitive college basketball series over the last 5 or 6 years.
Our games with Louisville have been fat out great. I mean, and Louisville fans, when I see them on the road, because there's an AAU event down there in July, they come up and want to talk about our games. So I expect another knockdown, drag out, a great defensive team. Press you back to a matchup zone. Another team with a number of big bodies like North Carolina last Saturday, where we're going to have to help Bonds and Zach with the rebounding and helping them in the paint.
They're coming off a tough loss at Duke, where they fell behind big and fought back at the end. You look at your last 9 games, you're 5-4 with them over the last 9. 5 of the games went to overtime. So there's something about this rivalry.
Well, Rick and I, before the game, we've teased and said, how many you want to play tonight? 1, 2, and we talk about it on the road. They're great games. They've been great for college basketball, so really respect their program. Again, when you beat the Louisville program with what that program has stood for, not only through Rick Pitino's years, but Denny Crum, it's a credibility win for our basketball program. The one thing, if you want to look at NCAA tournament resume, this is a team that has a top 25 RPI. It'd be another great scalp to have on an NCAA tournament resume.
And then you have the week off, but a week from Saturday you start a difficult, almost NBA-like 3-game road trip against teams that I shake my head about because all of them are pretty good, and none of them have won a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, go down to Atlanta, play down there, and it'll be a dogfight in Atlanta, Georgia Tech. To Wake Forest, who's struggled, but they're pretty good at home and they can score. And I don't know if records matter, sometimes night to night. And then you play Florida State, who right now has been pretty darn hot.
Yeah,
I know
they're huge.
They've got Syracuse, and they're another team with a lot of big bodies a week from Saturday. So very, very tough road stretch coming up. But we do get a week to kind of get into a good practice rhythm before we go back on the road.
All right, folks, 4 p.m. at Purcell Pavilion Saturday, pregame on WSBT at 3:40 Saturday afternoon. Great job, Coach. That'll do it for this week. We're back again right here next Thursday night. Until then, thanks so much for showing up. Thanks so much for listening and watching. And as always, go Irish.
The Mike Brey Radio Show has been presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Sprint, Coke Zero, Under Armour, and Gatorade. The Mike Brey Radio Show is also presented by Delta Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Notre Dame Athletics, Bank of America, Xfinity, First Source Bank, Great Clips, Papa John's, St. Joseph Health System, South Bend Orthopedics, and O'Rourke's Public House. Also sponsoring tonight's show is Primrose Mishawaka.